Welcome to the good, the bad, and the sequel Q&A. My name's Doug. So the next sequel that we're covering is the NeverEnding Story 3. It's one of those sequels that when we started this over 6 years ago, some sequels are on these lists because it's like, oh my god, I can't believe that they made this, like a Son of the Mass. Some was like, wow, they made this movie, but it just had, distribution issues or something with the editing or after the movie was filmed, and that's the case with NeverEnding Story 3. So it was so much fun not only to just talk to somebody that worked on it, but one of the stars, actress Melody Kay, who played Nicole, and she's Gabby Nowicki in the Christopher Lloyd classic Camp Nowhere. So it was so cool to talk to Melody, hear behind the scenes stories from both of those films. NeverEnding Story 3, she worked with a young Jack Black. She also talked about some of the issues with the not having voiceover artists, some other things that went into the production in the film. And Camp Nowhere, a really important film for her and a bunch of the actors that are in the movie. And a wild story about how the movie became this cult classic because it wasn't a success in the theaters due to like the marketing of the movie that Christopher Lloyd had a little bit with a hand in. But really cool story. I'll let Melody tell it. She tells it a lot better than I. And she has a new movie that's out. I don't see where you could stream it just yet, but I'll make sure to update the episode notes when that does happen. But you can go follow it on Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb to get information on it. It's called Round the Decay, and I'll be sure to put the link in the episode notes. It was in theaters earlier this year, and I got good reviews from what I was just looking at. So be sure to check it out. Support Melody. And before I start with this week's interview, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everybody about us and this interview with Melody. And also, last week there wasn't an episode. If you're listening to this in 10 years, 20 years down the road, it could be 2045. You don't even know what I'm talking about. But we missed one of our first episode weeks ever. I wasn't feeling good last week. And then I went to the Mahoning Drive-In in Lehigh, PA. If you're anywhere on planet Earth, you need to go to this drive-in or support any drive-ins by where you're at. Me and our horror sequel expert, Chris Egan, went, and it was an absolute blast. We got to see Killer Clowns from Outer Space, followed by Ernest Scared Stupid, followed by Team America World Police, and lastly, at 3:30 in the morning, while we were getting ready to go to bed, they started Theodore Rex. So pretty special. They have a lot of cool things. Make sure you check it out. I put that in the episode notes as well, or you can just use your Google machine and search Mahoning Drive-In, Lehigh, PA. So without further ado, here is actress Melody Kay. Are you still in New York? Are you back in New York now?
No, I'll be in New York June 19th till not sure when.
Okay.
It's kind of like I haven't gone back in a while to network, and with the film coming out, like streaming. It's just this is my time, baby. Like, you gotta, 21 years of like retirement. So
yeah, strike when the iron's hot. I talk to a lot of people that take some time off and then get back into it. I just talked to Russell Todd, who was in Friday the 13th Part 2, and he was in Chopping Mall. And then like in the 90s, after he did a soap for a while, he was like, I want to try something different. So he became like an agent for Steadicam operators. And then I worked for him for like 30 years. Then he just got back into acting like last year. So
you worked for him for 30 years? Jesus, no. Criminy sakes. I was like, wow, you are a magical looking man. Like, how?
Thank you. But like, no, wow. So it's like these ebbs and flows in careers, sometimes, especially with, child actors. I talked to from Monster Squad. I should know his name off the top of my head. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he got to the point, like he turned 17, 18. He kept getting on Fox pilots. They were just never going. Like Married with Children was the one that he wanted to get. He didn't get it. His friend got it, Dave Faustino, and then the rest history for him. But
I know David. But I knew David pretty well. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. The other guy, I'm sure you know too. But anyway, he turned like 18 after that didn't happen. He's like, I want to like go to college. I don't want to play basketball. Right. And then he didn't do anything acting wise for years.
it's it's one of those things. Like I legitimately, like, I retired because, like, I wanted to, and I raised 4 kids and never thought I would get back into it because it did change a lot. Like, I was extremely successful young, and then the
Yeah.
older I got, that time in Hollywood, let's just say when my agent sent me out for a role that was the big-breasted bridesmaid, I was like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's that time. Um, but and I'll, I literally had no idea. I lived under a rock because it was like I just dead set on putting that, like, in a box and behind me.
Yeah.
And then I got divorced, and I met my now fiance manager, like, and we were sitting at a sushi restaurant, and he had seen my films and stuff, and he was like, "Now, why aren't you doing this again?" And I was like, I don't know. I He taught me how to do social media. Like, I went back out there. Um, Adam knew, and this doesn't happen for actresses, like, very often. Like, it's hard enough as a middle-aged woman to, like, work as it is, like, in the
Yeah.
business, or to get back into the industry, but to have somebody seek you out because they're a fan and be like, "Hey, what the hell?" Like, he, like, he never thought, like, I would actually respond, like, and he was like, "Hey, you want to be in my movie?" And I had literally had to, get my fiance, who was my boyfriend at the time. I need you to be my manager because I look really unprofessional without a manager. And so he became my manager, and we pretended as if, like, Adam was winning a prize by, like, having me in his film. That's how I got back into it. So,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
yeah, it doesn't happen very often, and so I feel extremely grateful because I was home again. I got
Yeah.
on set, and it was like,
That's amazing. So we'll talk about your career. One thing I had to ask is you just mentioned that, like, I never think of. I've talked to a few child actors, but not really any child actresses. So, like, when you're going on dates or anything in your, like, 20s, it's like, oh, what did you like? How does that get brought up? I'm sure the movies you were in, people will know. It's not like it's like, hey, have you seen this movie? And it's like it was a straight to, these are two
right.
well-known movies that you were in really early on. I wonder
Oh,
how
yeah.
do you wait to mention that? Like, say on
Okay.
a first date?
All right. Here's the thing. Like, when I met my ex-husband, I was still, like, I was in LA.
You were okay.
I didn't, yeah. So, I mean, I didn't have to tell him, like, I was still in the business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He thought he was going to be a stay-at-home dad to a famous actress. And I was like, "Oh, no, just kidding. No, no, you got to go to work now. Because I want to raise kids."
Yeah.
And kind of a true story. It's funny. We laugh about it. But, um, and then I was married for 21 years.
Oh
And
yeah.
I literally, my entire life, have either, let's just say, enjoyed life
Yep.
or basically been completely committed to one person.
I
So,
gotcha.
yeah. So when I met my fiance, yeah, he had seen my movies on Disney Plus, like, I met his mom, and she was like, "Yeah, the Nasties from NeverEnding Story 3. Of course they know your movie." It was a golden moment. Hey, mom. And yeah, it so no, I never, and I'll tell you, while I was a stay-at-home mom, and when I first moved to North Carolina, where I'm residing right now, um, nobody knew, uh, for years,
Wow.
because that's not something. It's kind of like Trump moving to, like, somewhere, like, and trying to be like, "Hey, guess what? I was the president. I'm the president again. And people, who don't know him, and they're like, uh-huh, sure. So it's just like, it's not even worth mentioning if people don't already know who you are. So you just kind of tuck that away. Or you get like another response where people just think you're a complete asshole, which most of us actors, like, we are, to a point. But you're committed to that. Like, once, that's mentioned, you become a completely different entity. Like, you're no longer like a mom of kids. They're like, oh wow, so you're an actor. And then it becomes like, and then they watch like everything you do, and you're no longer a human being.
That would be, that is true. Yeah. Like a week later, it's
I'm like, I might as
they're
well have
like trying to ask you questions about the movies. Now that could be a little something.
Everything you do becomes like, she's doing that because she's an and she thinks she's so great. And I'm like, hey, I'm changing like a fucking diaper right now. Like, I'm not so great right now. I'm you. Right. I'm just like you. And the other thing is, people think immediately you're fucking gazillionaire. Yeah. My money was gone by the time, like, I hit 18. I got all my money. By the time I was 19, it was completely gone.
Yeah.
So unless you, in words to the wise, if you're a child actor out there, get somebody who says, no, you can't touch a damn thing. Mm-hmm. And you have somebody who manages your money for you. Because another thing is, most of the time, if you're a child actor and you've been raised to be dramatic or excessive, you're going to do whatever you want. You're going to spend your money and you're going to be frivolous. And so.
All right, let's talk about like the beginning. So you grew up in New York, like New York City or Long Island?
No. I was born in Detroit, and I was an only child, and I was spoiled rotten. Like, it was just me and adults, and everybody was like, ooh. And I was like, I saw my cousin in a show and she got all this attention. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And so I did. And so once I was on stage, I did a couple productions, and I was sought after by like a producer, and an agent who just happened to be there from New York City.
Wow.
And they were like, told my mom, that kid needs to go to New York. So we went to New York. And I ended up the understudy for Daisy Egan. Hi, Daisy, I love you. On Broadway. She was the youngest to date, like Tony Award winning actress for The Secret Garden. I was her understudy.
How old were you at this point? This is like 8?
11.
Or even younger? 11.
I was 11 at this point. Yeah.
Wow.
And then I took it on the road, and so it was mine. It's a production where Mary Lennox has one scene she's not in. So it was in 6 days a week, and like, sometimes 7. And I loved every minute of it. But it was, that was a good, I think, 2 years. But in the midst of that, made it to LA, where we were, it was a national tour. And I had an agent before I even went out there. Like, my agent from New York set me up with an agent in LA, and it was like, and it was one of those things where, as an actor, that you have sought after times. I was very sought after at that time.
Yeah.
So I almost was committed to doing a couple pilots, and I was like, no, I want to continue being on tour. And I did about 3 more months until I was like, okay, I'll do TV, So then we moved to LA, and not long after that, like I did It Had to Be You, which was with Faye Dunaway.
Yeah.
I mentioned that because she was just the most exquisite diva woman like ever. I was like, wow. And that was my like first experience with like in front of the camera, really, because I'd done a bunch of commercials. Like I was the Heinz ketchup girl for
Really?
yeah, I was. Well, I mean, I looked like an odd cross between like an Italian, Irish, freckled, like all American, who knows what she is, but interesting looking, like commercial looking kid with a really obnoxious big personality. So, like it was a very, very early 90s. It was perfect. So, then I booked NeverEnding Story 3, and that was an absolutely amazing experience. Again, everything that I ever like booked as a kid, I already knew I was going to get it before I walked in the door. It was one of those things, and I also knew, like, my mom and I would go to auditions, and if I could smoke then, I would have been like, screw it, yeah, I don't know. I'd look around, I'm like, yeah, no, this is not happening, but sure, I'll walk in the door. And I was right every time, Um, but NeverEnding Story 3 was just, I mean, we filmed in Vancouver, we filmed in Germany. Yeah. That was back when Jack Black was, you would never, like, I always tell this story. Sorry, people who watch my podcast. They're like, oh, here's the Jack Black thing again. But but it blows my mind how much we can transform, because he was like the James Dean of the set, like I don't know if you've seen NeverEnding Story 3.
Yeah, I watched it again today.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, good Doug. I love you. Do you like Doug or Douglas? What's your
Doug?
Okay,
Doug.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta do this again. So anyway, he played his guitar in his trailer, and I was just totally enamored with him. And sorry, but not funny. Like, funny was not in the realm. He was very serious, very like cool, like, and then years later to see him be like the ultimate comedian.
Oh yeah.
Was like,
yeah.
What? It was awesome. It was really cool, but it just goes to show the multi-dimension or multiple personalities that actors all have living within here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and because even after this, he did like, I'm sure he did a lot of other stuff that maybe was comedic, but like Cable Guy, like 96, he kind of plays like a serious guy. And then he had that silly part with Tenacious D, him and Kyle in
right. Well, Tenacious D was like,
they were already together at that point.
Tenacious D before Tenacious D, like that was like the music he was playing at that point.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were in a Biodome together. They had a little random scene that they were singing right around this time. So like then it's like 95. But that's pretty cool. If you really think about it, a lot of actors, when you see them for the first time and then have the opportunity to have a career that lasts so long, but it is amazing. Like right now, he's at this point that The Rock was at, that I think they can make like any movie with him in the lead. And I think it's going to do good, because Minecraft is a big example of that.
Oh, hell yes. And my favorite role of his was, oh my gosh, what was it? It was with Ben Stiller.
Oh my gosh, when what in the military movie? Yeah, when he was like the fart family.
Oh my God, he was just that will always be my favorite. He was so funny.
Tropic Thunder. And yeah, he's like
that was such a
he's on drugs. He's hiding his drugs.
Yes. Yes. But he like he has like this innate ability to. That's what I mean by multidimensional. Like he's fucking hilarious, but he's also very very real. Like there's like a sense of like he's still using his dramatic skills, like so to say, in that movie, which is what makes it even more hilarious. It's just it was just so good.
That's awesome. No, it is cool, like hearing that. But how about for like the movie? When was the last time you watched it?
Which one? What, NeverEnding Story 3?
NeverEnding Story 3. Do you ever go back and watch like that or Nowhere or if it's on, would you stop and keep watching?
No, but I would keep it going to make sure, like, okay, NeverEnding Story 3, I don't get residuals for. Camp Nowhere, if I could, I would just keep playing so I get my 5 cents still. Like, every time it plays. NeverEnding Story 3, the last time I watched it was when my youngest daughter became interested in, she found out I was an actor. She's my me. Like, she's the one, God bless her soul. It's a very Southern term. Don't use it. It doesn't mean what you think it does. No, but she's full of emotion, and she's a performer, and so she wanted to watch it, and so I watched it with her. I think I watched it with the other kids when they were younger. My first 3 are very pragmatic. Like, you know, my oldest daughter is a performer. She's an amazing performer. She's a ballerina.
Oh, wow.
And, like, I mean, and I don't say that. Like, I thought she stunk when she was really young. And I was like, are we serious? Why are we doing this? And then all of a sudden she was like Swan Lake, like, you know. And that's because her director, like, told me to back off, let me have her. I was like, fine. And she's exquisite. But she's not a me. Like, she's not an actor person. She's very like type A, you know. So my youngest, yeah, she's the only one who really took to it. And then, of course, went and told like the whole school, you know, my mom, yes. And, you know, so I was no longer, I had gone years, I mean, 4 kids through one school with being a PTA mom, to then suddenly like pseudo weird celebrity status where like I have to wear glasses when I drop her off at school because like I know the kids are gonna like be like, your mom looked hideous today. Like, no, they're not really, but it does. No, but it does change things. You know, like you're suddenly no longer a mom. It's like, you know, and I'm like, no, I smell. It's morning. I'm nothing to look at. Like, you know, but it was sweet because to have. Like, she does have a pride in that, which it means a lot to me. And that's the last time I watched NeverEnding Story 3. Funny story really quick, though. Neil Jones, who does Without Your Head podcast, which was my very first podcast ever, which was so much fun, had Jeff Lieberman on, who wrote NeverEnding Story 3. So
wow.
This was like 2 months ago, maybe, or a month and a half. My fiance and I were sitting in this room, and he was like, they should redo NeverEnding Story 3. There's so much to it that didn't get to be done because there was a strike, and like the voiceover actors for like the things, like the rock guy or whatever.
Yeah.
Those were supposed to be actors. They're not. There was no dubbing. Like, that was literally the poor guy sweating to death, like inside of his costume, because there was a strike. So Mike was like, he went on a tangent of like how it should be. I shit you not, the next day we're sitting here and I'm like, holy, no way. And Neil messages me, guess who I just had on my show? Jeff Lieberman. He was talking about you. Because he writes amazing horror like stuff, and so I'll be meeting with Jeff when I go to New York. But just how the universe does that is really bizarre. Like,
yeah,
it just for him to even be on the same podcast that I was on, like, and then they're talking about me the day after Mike and I randomly, like, he comes up with this NeverEnding Story 3 thing. And that's when you know there's something bigger than you, whether you want to call it a pencil, God, like, I don't care. But that's when you know something's in the works that's beyond your control. So, and Camp Nowhere, to answer your question that you were asking, last time I watched that was when Mike made me. And then he let Ada watch it. Ada's my youngest daughter. Mike was like, "You've never watched Camp Nowhere?" I'm like, "No, I don't watch myself, like, on TV. Like, I've never, like, we don't particularly enjoy doing that, most of us." And I was like, "No, I saw it in the movie theaters. That was enough for me." And he's like, "You're watching it. This movie's really good." And so I did. And I was like, you know, it really was. It luckily bombed because I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. I mean, it was supposed to be the big movie of, like, and it tanked.
I wonder why. I mean, I wonder what else came out that weekend that would happen, because it is such a good movie.
Christopher Lloyd's other movie, Angels in the Outfield.
On the same weekend?
Yeah.
That's nuts. Why would they do that?
He produced both of them. And sorry, I have no filter. I just tell it like it is. What do I have to
do? No, you're good.
He had to choose which movie he was going to push to promote. They were going to come out at the same time. It's all Disney, like, I don't know the politics, but we ended up going right under the radar. It was like, yeah, it just got kicked to there wasn't enough, whatever it was, for it to, yeah. But I think he was brilliant. Hey, Christopher, you're still brilliant. But it might have, like, screwed us as like teenagers in our careers at that point. But it became a cult classic.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a controversial-ish movie for that time, because we were, like, kind of, the whole thing was pretty hormonally based, and, like, a lot of mind games and, you know, and boobs and stuff. And so I and then you have Angels in the Outfield, which is like, oh, baseball crying, oh, angels, you know. It's kind of hard to promote both of those at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I see where it did wonders for me, because little did I know this movie that at that time there were so many hormones and so many, like, it was like gossip, the soap opera. I mean, literally, like, the lead kid was in a soap opera. It was such a dramatic, horrendous time for so many of us on the set, but people fell in love with all of us, and, like, we have this huge fan base. And I didn't know it for, like, literally until 3 years ago.
Really?
Like, I had no idea. And I went on social media and I found, like, fan sites and whatever, people who literally were like, "Whatever happened to Melody Kay? Well, she died in a car crash," and, like, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, no.
Like, did I really? Tell me more about it. Like, was it gruesome? Like, what was...
Comment from Melody Kay. I died?
Yeah, I died? Like, tell me more. Like, I want to hear about it. Like, did I look okay while I was doing it? Like, or did I get murdered? Make it exciting.
This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Summer's almost out and fall's calling. Luckily, Nordstrom has everything you need for the season ahead, all under $100. Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Mango, Princess Polly, Wave, Free People, BDG, and more. Whether you're planning a last-minute getaway, heading back to class, or refreshing your office looks, you'll find the latest trends and beauty must-haves without breaking your budget. It's easy, too, with free shipping, free returns, and in-store order pickup. Shop today, in stores, and at Nordstrom.com.
Yeah. So
was the shoot, like, fun? Just given, like, the way the movie set, like, a camp setting, was it fun? Like you said, it was at that time where hormone, like teenagers. So it's gonna be like it's a little bit of both. I'm sure awkwardness and.
I remember when Andrew, like not Andrew, Adam. Sorry, oh my God, Adam, I love you to death. I can't believe it was Andrew. I was thinking of who was on the set. When Adam Newman, my favorite director on the face of the earth, asked me the same question because, like, that's how he knew me. Like, he loved Gabby Nowicki from Camp Nowhere, you know. And I was like, so all the other kids, aside from us 4 main kids, had a blast because they didn't have stage moms. They didn't have trailers that had to be like, my kid should have a bigger trailer. They didn't have like egos the size of Idaho. Like all 4 of us, me included, like it was basically just a recipe for like disaster in that area. But the rest of the kids did what they should have done, and they really totally enjoyed it, and they didn't get involved in our massive traumatic egotistical crap. So yeah, you know, I'm sure, see, like I'm like a no bullshit obviously kind of person, so like you could ask all the other 3 wherever, like they'd be like, oh my God, yeah, it was such a good time. And no, it was not. Nope. There was lots of crying. There was lots of like, I don't want to do this scene. I mean, I had to kiss Mud when I wanted to punch him in the face. So that was really hard. And yeah, we did. We hated each other at that point, but it like, that's magic. Like for some reason that kiss is one of those things that people are like, remember when you kissed Mud? And I'm like, because he led into like it was like the slowest moving into a kiss in the whole world, and I'm just like, okay, and but it worked. Like it worked, you know, because everybody loves. I don't want to say sexual tension because we were pretty young, but you get what I'm saying. So
no.
That answers your question.
Do you remember as like a kid, like when you're a kid at this point, you're probably like 15, 16 doing this movie?
Oh, yeah, I was 14 when I did it. 14 going on 15. Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look back at that cast, like, at that time, you had some people that were at not the end of the Emmett Walsh looked the same age for 40 years.
Oh, my. Yeah,
like, and even when he passed away, I almost interviewed him like 5 years ago during COVID. And when she got back to me in my head, I'm like, this is insane that he's alive, because he was already really old, but he looks the same. He was great.
He was so funny. He was probably my favorite person to but I will tell you, which I had to sadly tell Adam, this, the adults and the kids, once this was done and cut, like they wanted nothing to do with us. It was like, I mean, we're talking, these were like, we got like Back to the Future guys. We got like, we were annoying. And it was like, you know, again, we had like the stage modes and the drama and all that. And they're just like, get us, we'll be in our trailer, you know. But they were so like, they're just so great in it. Like when I finally did watch it, thanks to Mike, I love you, baby. When I finally watched it, I was like, holy crap, these are talented people. Like, because when you film a film, you film it so many times. Now, not with like independent films, which is why I'm such a huge fan. But when you're doing a Disney film in the early 90s, you better believe one scene's going to take you the whole damn day, if not into the next one, because I need my close-up here and this and that and this needs so I didn't even know if anybody was talented. Like you, it's like one clip and then you're done, and then you move to this side, and like, but seeing it all put together, it was really a brilliantly cast. That sounded really not.
But no, what you're saying is so true. Like, there's the independent film, or like the directors that don't use a lot of takes, like in Eastwood, or even Spielberg. It's like this is, the first take is like the realest and rawest one. When you get to like the David Fincher, like 75th take of dropping a newspaper, like things like that.
Yes. I'm going to tell you, it makes a huge difference, especially if you're a theater actor and you're used to being
you have to be good every time.
But you're happy to stay in it. You stay in the scene. There's no and I will say, doing Round the Decay, I mean, I don't think we did the scenes that I was in, maybe 3 or 4 max, and like any of my bigger moments or whatever, maybe twice. And I remember asking him, I'd be like, how was that? And he's like, you're it. You did it. Don't ask any questions. You're good. And it made it so much more enjoyable because it was so less technical and so less like pieced together. And I mean, I'm a method actor, so like if I can stay in it, I'd like to stay in it, not have to like go into the grave of the depths of hell to bring up like my, let me stay in it and then we'll be done. So yeah, it's nice. Now, mind you, technology has advanced to a point where the things that like took 50,000 takes to do now take one. So it's not as technically difficult, like in that aspect, not to dismiss anybody's trust me, it's still fucking hard to make a 45-year-old woman look great on screen. I love you, Mike McGilnick. But on set, I was the only one that like, it would be like right before like a scene and I would hear that. And I'm like, yes, I know you need to change the filter or whatever because it's my close up. Like, I'm the oldest person on the set. Like, I get it. Like, please, by all means, like, filter it, baby, filter it. But yeah, it's a very different vibe too. I mean, like Jamie, who played my husband in Round the Decay, was also the same guy who was like, doing the action. Like, I did some makeup like when I wasn't in a scene. Like, everybody is a family and works together. And it's just a very, very different vibe.
It's like a real community, even though filmmaking is a team on every level. On that, like you said, people are wearing so many different hats. They're going from, I'm not in the scene, I'm going to be the boom operator. And so, no, there's that cool aspect of it. So real quick, so for NeverEnding Story 3, like when you're working on that, that's got to be such a cool thing. Your first time, like on a movie set, like you were on TV before. So when that movie's done, was there like a premiere or?
Yes, that was that was like the epitome of like, I literally had bodyguards that walked me through. It was in Germany. So I saw it in German for the first time.
Wow.
Like, my voice was dubbed. I had people climbing up the windows to try to see in my room. And I mean, we were famous. And that was like my taste I got of like being Madonna for like a minute.
That's nuts. That's cool.
I felt like I was in Truth or Dare where she's like walking and like the bodyguards are walking with her. But it was amazing. And Peter McDonald was also, I mean, he was just an amazing director too. And like just seeing that all come together was so cool. It was an experience.
It's a really good movie. And you want to hear something so random? So I live in Clinton, New Jersey, and the town by me is called Highbridge. And there was somebody that had a Falcor made for Burning Man like 3 years ago, and they kept posting in Jersey. Like, they were like, I have this Falcor there's no cost. And the lady that owns the thrift shop got it. So every so often she sets up like a NeverEnding Story thing outside of it. But yeah.
I'll come visit while I'm there. I'll come to Jersey.
And she went to like a New Jersey Comic-Con or HorrorCon and like brought it. But yeah, no, that's pretty.
I'll be starting to do those soon. So
That's cool.
that'll be fun.
It is cool, like for you to do the experience. I helped this guy, Larry Hankin, character actor who worked for like a million years. I helped him put together his memoirs, and he did one in Jersey, so I went and saw him. And it's like such a cool thing, like even for like the hour that I hung out at his booth, like just people coming up to him and just like, oh yeah, I loved you and so, and you really get like the difference between,
it is cool.
like, because you've done both. Like there's a lot of people that have only done TV or film acting, so they never got that instant gratification. Maybe on set everybody clapped, but as from the audience, like Larry had a big background in doing stand-up comedy and improv, so to get that like instant gratification, especially you hear
Trust
about
me, it
like
sticks with you your whole life too. I'm very
sure
impatient.
I did improv for
person.
Oh, I bet. I'm like that. My wife always says I'm always like trying to get attention. I did improv for like a year when I lived in Portland, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Like just going on stage, just being able to riff, and no, it's such a good time. But no, that'd be cool for you to be able to meet people, and it fills your soul, so to speak. Like when people are like, hey, I loved you and blank. It's pretty cool. You'll hear probably similar stories, but you might hear ones you never heard of, like how that film impacted it. Because NeverEnding Story 3 is still a really good movie. I know there's something going on with it when it comes to like distribution rights, because it's hard to get like a legit
impossible
copy of it.
I'm one of the leads in the film, and it has been hard for me to even find it to use, like thanks to Jeff, really, like is how I got like a lot of photographs and stuff. It never came out here. It never even came to America.
It never even came out in America?
No. So if you've seen it, it's somehow by way of like a very brief period of time where it was distributed via VHS, like at like Blockbuster. It's
that's where I must have saw it, because I do remember it as a kid.
Yeah, it did. It came out, but not in the theaters. As far as I'm saying that like foot and mouth. Probably my mom's probably like, Melody, yes it did.
But maybe because it did so good in Europe, it didn't. But there's a lot of movies that are like that have like this weird distribution. But when you would think of that, like when we looked on some lists of like sequels you don't remember, I watched it probably 5-6 years ago. I couldn't find it. I watched it's free on YouTube. It's the only way you can watch it. And it's like still looks really good. Jim Henson puppeteers are still involved. So it's not like the third movie that usually wipes people out,
Yeah. See, and I didn't even know you could, I guess, you can watch it on YouTube now. That's a big deal too, because I mean, it really was really hard to get like a hold of clips and stuff like when I wanted them.
Well, if you need any, it's on YouTube. So somebody, I'm sure that could download it and you can clip it for you.
Oh, no, now I'm like, now social media is it's way too much of a, but not too much, but like it's definitely become I mean, it's an amazing tool. I've promoted myself, like I'm in North Carolina, so all the way I've met new people and networked and social, like, is through social media. And making myself look a lot cooler than I actually am. And but hey, it's worked a lot of times. Now you know the truth, though. But no.
But there are some cool scenes. Like looking back at that movie, like for it being your first role, like in a film, you're in the first few minutes and you're in it throughout the movie, obviously, but you're there early. You get you're singing. You have
I wrote that song too.
You did?
Yeah, it's now that you can find on YouTube. It's all over the place. Awesome. I have copyrights to that is my song I wrote, and I actually had written it for I'll call him a cousin, like somebody very close to me who passed away when I was young, but they made it to be like I was singing about my father who had passed away. So, that's why it pans to a picture of my actual daddy, who's like, looks
That's a cool
like,
little Easter egg. That's cool. Two things
yeah,
they let you do.
yeah.
That's awesome. Did they approach you and be like, "Hey, we need a song. Do you have something?" Or how did that come
I
to
will
be?
tell you right now, Doug, obviously you can tell, like I have always been this way. It was probably me. I don't even know if there was a song in the script. Like I was probably like, "Hey, I'm gonna play guitar. Peter, can I?" And he's like, "Okay, go ahead and play guitar, and we'll put your daddy right there." Sorry, Peter. But I've never been afraid of putting myself completely out there. So
Yeah.
I don't remember, to be honest with you, if that I highly doubt it was written that Nicole was sitting on a bed, right, like playing a guitar.
Yeah.
So
No, they probably said like, "Hey, maybe what can you do? We got to pan over to picture your father," and you're probably like, "Oh, I got the song that I wrote." Like
no,
that scene's awesome, and when
yeah.
the mall scene, and I think that's like a really cool
Oh my
scene. When you watch
gosh,
that
Doug.
back, I think that's great.
Okay, that's my like. There's a scene in Round the Decay, and then there's that scene in NeverEnding Story 3. By far, that's the one in NeverEnding Story 3 was me, like in a nutshell, like with the
Yeah.
fashion thing, and no scene will ever, when it comes to who I really, I thought it was Marilyn Monroe, am on the inside, like, and they let me have free reign to just diva it up and have fun, and they kept all of it. Like, I remember, like, my mom and I talking, and I was like, she's like, "How many outfits did they let you wear?" Sorry, mom, you don't really sound like that, but like, and I was like, this and this and this and this, and normally everything's on the cutting room floor by the time you get to a film. They kept all of it in the whole montage. I had no idea was going to happen. So it was really cool. And
Yeah. That's fun, especially once you figure out like the pendant and how it works on the teacher. Just because I watched it today, it was I love the other rich mom. Like your friend's mom is like, "Oh, your mom finally got you a credit card," and that's like the richy rich. Like when I grew up, my mom was a waitress, my dad was a garbage man, so it wasn't like we were rich. But that's what I think about always is like that is like what rich people were to me, and I still think that way. But it was just somebody, and you're like, "Oh, all of them," and she's like, like she was almost like jealous. And then in that scene, the best part about the montage is they're holding all your stuff. Like they're not even shopping; they're just holding your boxes the whole time.
Oh, that was like the moment for all like non-rich kids across the world of like having friends that, and mind you, like, like our kids, I had to have like, I was like, okay, it's either Catholic school or we buy a house we can't afford in this school district. So my kids were Nicole. Like my kids were like the ones with the friends that all had like, the houses that
yeah.
And some of the moms were very similar to, and so they know that feeling of like when they have something that like they triumph because, but they didn't care. Like they really didn't give two shits that, like, anybody had money or didn't have money, because I'm quite frankly pretty like, I don't care. So it was like, yeah. So what? So they have, okay. So, well, you're lucky. Your mom's not a bitch. So I am sometimes. But you get what I'm saying. Like they were never intimidated or anything like that. But for the most of us, like, we all have had those moments, but like there were times where I felt it for them, where I could see that feeling of like, okay, so and so gets to go travel soccer, and I'm like, well, guess what? Yeah, that ain't happening because we're on one income, 4 kids, and a house we can't afford. So, you play soccer in the yard, you play soccer on the team, but there's no travel soccer, like the whole thing. So I did like, I can re-feel that feeling that like Nicole had in that scene, which, yeah.
No, that was cool. No, it's definitely a fun movie. I'm going to show my kids it soon because I know they'll enjoy it. And it's just that's so interesting when you told me before that the voices, they couldn't get the actual voice because the voices obviously were different, but they just sounded different. Like, but that's pretty cool for the actor that's in the costume. Like, what a pleasant surprise.
Well, I mean, they weren't actors. That's the whole, they're stuntmen. So they kind of, that's the last thing on earth they wanted was to have. And they're like, hey, guess what? You get the part, even though you didn't audition for it. Like, because
but it works and it goes into like what makes that movie what it is. Like even how silly like your mom is and how gullible she is and just trying to like get her new son to fit. Like he says, oh, that's the parrot I ordered.
I know.
If a box makes sounds, Mom.
Okay. She was so great. She was the quintessential everything like I was not and am not as a mom. Like that just is so just sweet and like make it work. And and I mean if like any kid brought a parrot, like I don't care like who, I'd be like a parrot. You expect me to believe there's a freaking parrot in that box? Like what? No, take it out. Whatever it is, I don't want to know. But it's so great. It was a really good dynamic. Like she made you feel that uncomfortability of like, I just want this to work.
Yeah. How about like Jason James Richter? Like at this point, I think awesome. Free Willy came out like right after this, right? It must have been like right around this time because he looks the same. No,
it was before. He was the star of the set. Oh yeah, he was awesome, and he still is, and he's so talented. And
you're right. Yeah, 93 that came out. Then Cops and Robertsons. Then he did this. Then Free Willy too. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, he was getting to be a co-star with him at that point was also a pinnacle. It was like, what? I'm like I just watched Free Willy and fell in love. And I was like, and then I met him and I'm like, hi. No, I'm totally not like crushing on you and enamored with you at all. Whatever, but no, I was like, oh my God, it's Free Willy. Yeah. He was just so down to earth though. Like so cool. And his mom and my mom were so close. And hi, Sandy.
That's awesome.
And they had so much, we had a lot of fun. Like the 4 of us hung out all the time and him and I were definitely troublemakers. We would love to do like stupid accents and just like we were obnoxious and people put up with us because it's what you do with child actors who are the leads in films. Like really they want to smack you up like side the head, but instead they're like, okay, you're funny.
Oh, another Borat accent again.
But it was and then there's the scene where I'm crying in the alley. I had an eye infection for 3 days after that, and
because something blew in your eye with the wind and everything.
Well, no, what they did was because I had to keep crying, so they put solution in my eyes that was supposed to keep like that rain from getting in, but I was allergic to it, and I ended up with these big swollen puffy eyes, and so I kind of held up production for like 2 days, and that sucked.
Hey, you're willing to have something put near your eyes. They can't get mad. Now, how quick after this movie does Camp Nowhere happen? Is it like right after?
Away.
I know they
right away. Like I came home to LA. Literally, the earthquake hit, the big 94 earthquake that like our apartment complex completely collapsed. The very next day after our apartment collapsed, they put us up in the Holiday Inn in Burbank. We were in production for Camp Nowhere the very next day.
Wow.
It didn't even halt. There were like people like dying from the earthquake, and we're like, well, we're Disney. We are going to film.
We're Disney. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Disney, but money's money, and and we're all going, I'm afraid that the world's going to come to an end any second. Like I was petrified of, because an earthquake, I don't like not knowing anything, to be quite frank with you. But like an earthquake, there is, at that point especially, like no idea. Like you're in the middle of sleeping, the next thing like it literally feels like it was like the most, one of those things like I've never slept right since. Like it's very PTSD type thing. And I'm grateful we went into production the very next day, because we were straight into like, ooh, he's cute. Like, like,
like you be a kid again, that's like a real.
Yeah, we all forgot all about the fact that like we almost died like several hours prior to being in a round table reading a script. But it was, I don't know how many months, but I think already booked camp. I booked it maybe a month or two after I got back from NeverEnding Story. And so they were back to back. And my agent, my manager were expecting a lot of money out of me at that point. It was a hot commodity. Then Camp Nowhere went, and it was like, people will scatter like when you're, it was like we were.
That's not cool.
We were. It was very interesting. But like I said, I think that was where my pinnacle point was supposed to be, because I'm remembered as like an actress that I wanted to be remembered as. Like as time progressed, I started taking roles that I don't even put on my, like, because I went blonde, and I was like, it just progressed into that part of life where you're trying to find yourself, but you're being watched. And then like all of a sudden, like the characters are more sexualized, and I'm like, well, what happened to like my acting ability? Like what, and I kind of left it at like a nice nerdy place, which is perfect because like, but I am. And
because that's what happens to women. Like I always talk about like Larry, because I helped him write his book, and we talked for like years, and we still talk to this day. And it's like, he hated that. Like he would hate when he was like, wait, you're the TV mom? And it would be like an actress he knew that was like in her late 20s. And it's like, it's so funny. You watch these movies now, and like, you think the most unbelievable thing is the stunts that people do, like Tom Cruise. How about like he's always married to a woman, or the leading men always are married to women that are like 20 or 30 years younger. It's insane that is never. It's just a shame the way Hollywood is when it comes to that. Like you said, that's what they get to the point. It's like, okay, now you're just going to be hot girl next door. That's like your role now. And then it's like I want to work and I need money, so I'm going to take that role. And then somebody's going to be like, hey, I just saw you and they look at you, you were the hot girl next door. So you're going to be the hot girl in the other office. And like, that is like the thing that happens. I talk to people that direct sci-fi movies, and it's like, then you go for a big budget film interview, and they're like, all right, let me see what you done. It's like, oh, you did sci-fi. Like that's, but it's like, but I directed something. It's like, I know, but it's not, It's like, there's a stigma for these roles.
Oh, absolutely. But it was such a gift to absolutely lose all my money, all my, like, to start over and live a real person's life for years and to get back into the industry, not for a living, but because just to see what the hell, maybe we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And to like, I have no, if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. If I don't like, I have all the say in the world. Like, this is my career. That was not the way it was. And it's not the way it would have been had I continued and had other people depicting what I was going to be, which at that point would not have been like, I mean, it's a therapy for me. It's a life. Like, I was born with this ability to either piss people off, make them laugh, or like make them feel something, you know.
Emotion, yeah.
I'm an emotional human being, and like when it started to become about it being a business, like there's a lot of things I can do as a business. Like, this is not one of them. Like, I don't want to play a mom. Somebody could offer me a huge role as like the mom. Like,
yeah.
No, not unless I'm like the secret serial killer, like that murder. You know, like I want it to be something that makes me feel, so I can make other people feel. They don't always like the way I make them feel, but that's part of it. That's what makes it art, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Have you thought about, now that you're like, you know, you're back into it with Round the Decay, which is that out that people can rent it? Or how can people check that out?
It's in movie theaters. Like,
oh, it is?
It was in New York City. It did
that's
actually.
Cool.
Mike and I went to the premiere like months ago. Adam got up there. It was like, surprise, guess what? We're going to be in the movie theaters. We had no fucking idea. Like, we thought it was going straight to streaming. And now it's been continuously out in different, it's very odd to be like having a gut-wrenchingly terrible, horrible day. Like, I'm working through like, you know, a physical like ailment, and to think like in like another state, like there are like people watching me on like the big screen, like right now, like it just doesn't compute because we weren't expecting it. And yeah, it was, so it's, as far as I know, because I'm the worst at knowing
I'll fact
stuff.
check that.
Like,
I'll fact check, not you, but like when this comes out, I'll make
Doug.
sure to.
No.
Yeah,
you let me know when my movie comes out, please?
Yeah. But no, I'll put the link in the episode notes for people to be able to check out. What are some other roles now that after this? What are some other type of? I know you just mentioned like serial killer mom, but is there any other type of roles that you've thought about, like maybe even when you were a kid, but like to be a certain type of character or a type of genre?
Teresa, who I just played, she was like a whole lot of everything. She was the greatest role for a middle-aged. She was like, I can't give away too many spoilers for like people because, you know, but to top that role, even though I'm not like on the screen, like I'm not like the lead, you know, but I mean, I would love, I like deep, I like thriller, like anything that has, I'll play like make me ugly, like make me, you know, I like horror films. I'm dramatic, so I would love to do anything that has some kind of depth. I like sexy, so like I'm good with that, but she has to be like there has to be like something like wrong with her. Like
murdering sexy. Yeah, just put them together. No, that's
Sharon Stone, Basic Instinct. Like that's like that's, you know, okay, because like I would do that. I do think about these, like I have dream roles and stuff, but like basic, no, I'm not going to do anything that just because like here we'll pay you to do this. You know, if it doesn't like entice me or make me feel a certain way, or I can already envision, like I created Teresa before Adam even created Teresa. Like,
yeah,
you know, like I put her character out there. Like by the time we got to filming, I would be like, so what does Teresa do? He's like, I don't know. Like, you already know, you're already Teresa. Like, you just be Teresa.
Yeah.
Because if I can see it, you know, and if it makes me feel something, you know, I would love to do a mafia film. I would like, you know, I would totally love to redo Scarface. Like that would be like Michelle Pfeiffer. I would play that kind of like,
Yeah.
anything like just where there's like a whole lot of depth and interesting and whatever. Or I'll be a complete like just morbidly scary monster thing that like, whatever, like that sounds fun too. So
yeah.
How
about theater? Would you ever think about at one point maybe like getting back on stage and trying?
Yes. One of the reasons that I'm going to New York is to touch base with, I mean, obviously, like I have 4 children that I share custody. That like I there was no way I could do theater or even a long film or anything a couple years ago. You know, they were just the youngest were just too young. But they're at an age now where, like, I mean, my oldest 2, like, they're like 19 and 17. They're like,
oh, okay.
Oh, you were gone? Like, what? Okay.
I know.
I mean, you know, and they're at a point where that would be exciting to them to, and therefore if I was doing a Broadway show, I would have enough money to fly them back and forth or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously my youngest is still 11. So like doing an actual Broadway show in Manhattan right now, you know, long term, it would take like working with my ex-husband to make that all work. But you know, I mean, it's something that doesn't happen very often. And I think that, you know, we'll see, but I miss it. Like,
yeah, I bet.
Broadway
I bet like going back onto it. And I'm sure that would be such like a home, like you said, like being on set again.
That is, and I mean, theater is where that is where my heart is.
Yeah.
You could put me on a stage on my deathbed and suddenly like I might have a couple more hours to live because I've got an audience right in front of me. So I got to give them a show for 3 more hours and then I can croak. Because I do, I love it. And there is no, that's too much, tone it down. Like, no, because when you're on stage, you have to be bigger than life for people to see and feel you, you know. Now trying to live as a normal human being and retract that's work for me. It takes a lot to love me, I will tell you that, because I'm a lot. Entertaining, yes. Living with me or dealing with me on a human basis, yes. All of you, my ex, my fiance, like he's like, yep, mm-hmm. But it's who I am, and I mean no harm. Like I really don't. You have to have a big like. Theater is something that is very, very genuine. Yeah, and you have to be able to genuinely empathize with human beings and feel them, so you can project that as somebody. And it can be a very painful experience sometimes, but when it's what you're meant to do, it's worth it.
Yeah. No, it's been so much fun. One thing I always love to ask folks, when you're, especially, it's even harder, I think, when you're a kid, because it's like there's so much going on. Like, you know, obviously there's so much going on with you, your school, all of that. Did you keep any mementos when you were on sets early on? Like any scripts or anything?
I have everything.
Really?
I save mementos from things where people wish like they're like you have that. I have my children's umbilical cords like in their baby books. Like
Okay.
I have mementos from everything. I have lots of mementos that are actually like behind me. Like one of the things right here was given to me opening night in Cleveland, Ohio. It's the Secret Garden, like it's
Oh,
the
that's
ticket,
awesome.
but it was, made into a keychain thing. Like I have everything.
That's cool.
I'm a very like nostalgic, sentimental person, so I like to keep mementos a lot.
Yeah, it's cool because they're like these sort of like relics. Even like the VHS tapes behind me, like during COVID, like I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to like set up an area instead of just like randomly setting up shop in the house. And people are just giving these away. And it's so weird, like just even sometimes I'm just like hanging out in here and I'm like, let me just pick up because there's like this weird thing about like looking at a VHS and looking at the back, and it just brings you back to going to the video store. It was such like a nostalgic thing. The only time I ever get that now is really, it's like, I know all the other services offer like looking at trailers and stuff, but Tubi has like so many of the older movies that were like the ones to me that were always on like basic cable or just on like Cinemax and Showtime and those. It's like a very, but I think about that like every time I'm looking at one of these. But no, it is like to have things. It's just cool.
Well, it is, and you've actually inspired me. Like I have in a storage unit that God, we've got to get all the shit out of. You just reminded me. Thank you, Doug. I do. I have bins with all like my old VHSs and Camp Nowhere and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
And this is like the podcast central like station that we just started setting up. Having something like that behind me would be pretty like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no, it would just even
now I have a place to put it as opposed to just in the bin that's going to go up there over there.
Yeah.
Corner.
That's cool. So for NeverEnding Story, do you have like scripts or any pieces of your wardrobe or stuff that you're able to?
I've got the wardrobe.
I know that's tough a lot of times.
Wardrobe, they didn't really ever let us keep anything back in the day. But I have the first script, the third script. I've got notes that Peter McDonald would write me. Like I have notes from Hal Prince from the Secret Garden, not the Secret Garden, from, I don't know if you know who Hal Prince is. Harold Prince. He was.
No, what is that?
He was Phantom of the Opera, like not Phantom. He's one. Harold Prince and Andrew Lloyd Webber are two like.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Hal directed me in Parade and Whistle Down the Wind, and when he used to write to me, like, and so I have like the letters from him. I have like, when your cast members, like the last day, like from NeverEnding Story 3, like, or even better yet, we went to karaoke in Vancouver. I think we were in Vancouver filming. And I have like the cocktail napkin from when like Jason and I were deciding we were going to sing for karaoke that night. Like, we wrote it down. Like I have odd mementos.
So interesting, just to hear that story from somebody that was involved in the movie. Obviously, every job on a film, there's all these pieces of the puzzle. But when you're one of the main actors, and for something like that to happen, then it's like, hey, if we're gonna put any money behind anything, how about Angels in the Outfield? That's like a heartfelt story. And this one's kind of like a bunch of teens, almost teens, all like wanting to hook up. That's what the movie's about. I love it. It was so much cool to watch as a kid, and still now. It's still so good. Emma Walsh is the bad guy in it. So cool. And so thank you, Melody, and be sure to check out Round the Decay. I'll put that in the episode notes, and you can follow, see when that's going to be available for VOD or streaming. So that'll be a lot of fun. And your homework, The NeverEnding Story 3. Like I said to Melanie in the interview, obviously it's a hard movie to find, but somebody has put it on YouTube. There are some parts you don't hear audio for a few seconds, but still a lot of fun, especially hearing the behind the scenes stories, how like the voices that you hear from the creatures are the people in the costumes, because they were just reading their line, not knowing that, hey, we're going to keep this in. You think they're edited out and the voiceover guy would come in, but nope. So it is pretty cool, actually, because some of these people, maybe they gave it their all that day on set, and it's a lot of fun. So that's on YouTube. I'll put that in the episode notes as well. You guys are loaded up. You're going to have everything. Melodies, Instagram, my shirt size. If you want to send me a shirt for my birthday, that'd be pretty. Don't send me a shirt. But what you can do is don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.